Coronavirus. Lockdowns begin again as second wave arrives. By Learn with News, Level 3. The second wave of coronavirus has arrived in countries around the world. Countries that had fended off the first wave in the spring and summer are now having to impose tougher restrictions as the number of daily cases has begun to spiral out of control. In Europe, countries are seeing far higher cases each day than they had during the first wave. In France, the highest number of daily cases during the first wave was 7,578. On October 18, 2020, the newest record was 32,427 in one day. New records have been set on an almost daily basis since the beginning of September. France has now introduced night lockdowns in 9 cities. As part of the lockdowns, the government has introduced a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in those cities. All businesses must close before 9 p.m. and all people must be in their homes at 9 p.m. The new rules show the reluctance that the French government has to introduce lockdowns that are as strict as the national one in the spring. In the first national lockdown, people in all of France were told to stay at home. People could only leave their homes for a few reasons, such as to buy food. Even if they did leave their homes to buy food, they had to take a signed document with them to show to police upon request. Anyone who was out of their house without the document or for an invalid reason could be fined hundreds of euros. Governments across Europe have been reluctant to reintroduce restrictions that devastated their economies in the first half of the year. The UK has introduced a 3-tier system to classify different areas of the country. The tiers are medium, high, and very high. The restrictions vary between the tiers, with the very high tier meaning that all pubs and bars are closed, people are not allowed to meet in indoor venues, and people are not allowed to travel from those areas to other parts of the country. All workers in these areas also have to work from home if possible. However, these restrictions are still relaxed compared to the UK's restrictions at the beginning of the year. Many governments across Europe have had similar reactions to the second wave. Although they don't rule out having the same lockdowns as before, they are very hesitant to do it. The spikes in Europe are being mirrored around the world. The US recently had their highest daily increase since July. Argentina just recorded their highest number of daily cases since the beginning of the pandemic, and Canada also recorded their highest number of cases since the start of the pandemic. The situation is similar in many countries. On the other hand, New Zealand recently became completely COVID-free once again. South Korea is considering reopening schools after getting their number of daily cases to an acceptable level, and Singapore has had fewer than 10 cases per day for more than a week. Despite the fact that many governments are struggling to get a grip on the virus, some areas of the world have been able to successfully navigate both the first and second waves.